Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a bulletproof morning to ya.
All right.
So let's see. We're going to talk about sleep today.
All right.
I love talking about sleep. Did you know when I was a kid, I don't know if you know this, when I was a kid, I super anxious,
Okay.
and I don't know how many. I mean, I know that most kids wet their bed sometimes or whatever. I feel like I wet my bed more than normal. Maybe not an
Oh,
extraordinary
really?
amount,
Okay. Yep.
but I also started sleepwalking,
Oh,
and I
wow.
slept walk a bunch when I was a kid, and I had night terrors. Are you familiar with night terrors?
I know what they are.
Oh my God, dude.
I've
Night
never had
terrors
them.
are the worst. So let me tell you a little bit about night terrors. So
Okay.
like, I want you to imagine just for a moment your worst nightmare. Okay, like, I don't just mean like a bad thing in your life. I mean like a terrifying horror movie nightmare. Like something that's so terrifying it's not even possible. Kind of like a really bad nightmare, right?
Right.
And imagine that it was a recurring nightmare
Okay.
instead of just a one-time shot.
Yep.
And then I'd like you to imagine that what it's like to wake up in the middle of a nightmare. Your heart's racing, you know, your hand and maybe the rest of your body is sweating,
Yep.
right? You're like all adrenalized, you're completely freaked out, right? And probably angry and like ready to punch someone, right? Like, you know, just high stress, high adrenaline, fight or flight, probably both, you know. So that's a really bad, like, recurring nightmare. But imagine waking up from it, opening your eyes, except even though you can kind of see it, and usually it's dark and most often this happens with kids, you can see the physical world around you, but it's almost like it's an outer layer of your reality, and the inner layer is like a transparency,
Oh,
like
wow.
transparencies when we were, so there's this like virtual reality layer right here. Even though you can kind of you can physically see the physical world around you, the overlay, the virtual world overlay that's right in front of your consciousness is much more visceral.
Oh, my
And
God.
so you keep experiencing the nightmare in real time. You're still dreaming, but your physical body's awake.
Wow.
Okay.
I
And
guess I didn't
so,
know that part of the night terrors.
well, I mean,
That's
I'm sure it's
horrible.
different for everyone,
Yeah.
and there's different degrees of
Hmm.
extremeness and whatever. And yeah, I had all sorts of trips to the hospital and stuff.
Okay.
Um, and it was crazy. It was super intense.
Yep.
So I didn't always have a good relationship with sleep. After I became a hypnotist, I haven't had sleep problems since, you know.
Right.
And I can't say that my entire life I was riddled with sleep problems. When I was a kid, I had some issues, particularly as I went into like junior high and high school. I was okay, so it wasn't like I was completely, devastated until I became a hypnotist or something.
Right.
But sleep is something we all have to do, and we all have a relationship with it, right? And
Yep.
when sleep isn't going well, it can really mess us up,
Oh,
right?
it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And who knows, maybe we'll even do a hypnosis session in a few minutes. We'll see.
Cool.
But since we started out talking about night terrors, what's something good? What do you what's something that you're feeling good about, that you're happy about? And for all of our viewers, I'm asking you too, is what's your positive focus? What are you happiest or most excited about, most grateful for, most appreciative of? But often happy and excited are words that just like get you fired up, get you positive, get you oriented in a 100% positive direction. What are you happiest or most excited about in your life right now? I am stoked because Brattleboro, the town that I live in, has an Olympic-sized ski jump that's been here for many years, and every winter in February is the ski jump. And it's a big thing, and people come from all around, and they ring these bells, and very often there's raclette, which is a type of cheese from Switzerland.
Oh wow!
that they heat underneath this big heater, this big like metal heating element, this massive block of cheese, and it's cooked kind of like grilled cheese shawarma. A little weird, right? But that's kind of the vibe. And then often it's scraped, the melted, cooked cheese that's just been scraped onto like a pile of potatoes, and you eat it while you're outside, the freezing cold, snow blowing in your face, and everybody's ringing these cowbells. The ski jumpers are flying a million miles an hour through the air. It's very exciting. And this year my son is volunteering at the ski jump. So I'm very excited about the upcoming ski jump festivities. So that's something I'm looking forward to. What are you stoked about, Eric?
I'm most stoked about sleeping better last night than I have in, I don't know, the past couple of weeks. It's been like 2 consecutive weeks of, I think I've had 2 really good nights of sleep in the past 2 weeks, which has been really affecting me. Last night I had a pretty good night's sleep, although I did wake up way too early and had trouble I wasn't able to get back to sleep. But I feel more rested today than I have in the past couple of weeks. And something I notice when I sleep more deeply, I have dreams. If I'm not getting adequate sleep, I don't dream at all. But last night I do remember one of my dreams. So that's a positive focus. And yeah, and it wasn't a bad dream, no night terrors. And yeah, I don't know if it was a good dream, but it was an interesting dream.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I have a whole bunch of tips and tricks. As a hypnotist, I've helped a lot of people with sleep over the years. It's not something that I heavily advertise or heavily market, but I do have a product that you've listened to, I believe, called the Sleep Switch.
The Sleep Switch, yeah.
That I recorded in a hotel room in Toronto once. And I needed to get it done. And it was done with kind of a crappy mic. And thousands and thousands of people have bought it and used it to sleep. So that's just a recorded product. Prior to creating that, especially when I was doing a lot more one-on-one hypnosis in my early hypnosis career, people would naturally come in for insomnia, for sleep, or sometimes when people are highly stressed in different ways, that really can mess you up with sleep. Right. And so if people were a weight loss client, or if they were going through a hard time in their life and they were dealing with stress and anxiety, often sleep would be a part of the puzzle,
right.
It'd be
exactly.
a piece of the puzzle. And so, and hypnosis is interesting because hypnosis is derived from the word hypno or hypnos, and hypnos is the Greek god of sleep. And hypnosis, or the hypnagogic state, which is the state you go into when you're being hypnotized, is the state between being awake and asleep. And so when you go into hypnosis, you're kind of moving into that zone. You're playing around with and getting more familiarized with sleep and the process that you used to go to sleep and to wake up, and all these types of things. So another thing that's said very often is that hypnosis is the dream state, right? It's the state, it's the alpha theta state. It's not wide awake alert consciousness, and it's not deep restorative delta sleep. It's in the in-between zone, right?
Right.
So hypnosis and sleep are very closely related, right?
Yeah, I feel that.
So before we get into the hypnosis aspect of things, maybe I should just ask you some questions about sleep.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
About your
Let's
sleep
do
and
it.
what you're dealing with. So, number one is if you can just describe because we've only talked about this a little bit in between things in the last few weeks. You've mentioned your sleep has been a little rough, but we haven't really had an in-depth conversation about it, right?
Sure.
So what's going on in terms of your sleep? Like, that's just bring me up to speed.
Yeah, I've had a lot of underlying stress factors in the past couple of weeks come up that have been, it's been a lot to deal with, and having, yeah, just a really full plate and full days with all that background stress, I feel like have been really contributing to sleeplessness. And that's been kind of accumulating into some chronic fatigue that I've been experiencing. And yeah, it's been really catching up with me. Like yesterday was one of my most unproductive days I've had in a very long time. And it was frustrating because I felt really clear direction on what I needed to do. And I'd sit down for a specific task, and yeah, my brain was just not functioning properly.
Tank was running on empty.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's talk about the sleep problem itself.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
or maybe framing it as a problem isn't even helpful, but let's talk about your sleep. So there are a few parts to sleep. One is falling asleep. One is staying asleep, waking up in the middle of the night. Another is when you do wake up, you don't wake up feeling refreshed or restored. And so are all of those affecting you, or is one of those affecting you? So again,
Right.
falling asleep, staying asleep, and then how do you feel when you wake up in the morning?
It seems to be a combination of those elements playing out at different times. Most often I'm able to get to sleep unless there's something particularly stressful in my immediate environment, and then it might take me a really long time to get to sleep. That hasn't been consistently an issue, but it has come up. Fairly frequently I'll wake up just feeling not rested. And then at other times I'll wake up during the night or like 3 hours earlier than I normally would and not be able to get back to sleep. And then I'm like, lose basically 3 hours of my night's sleep. That's been probably the most consistent factor.
So you'll wake up in the middle of the night and not be able to get back to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're having a hard time going to sleep. You're waking up in the middle of the night, not being able to go back to sleep, and you're not waking up feeling restored.
Right.
Okay, you got the triple play. You got the triple whammy going on.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, well, that's good because that means like there's a lot of things that we can do to improve.
Okay, cool.
We have multiple options for improvement there. It's like a buffet over here, endless possibilities.
Totally.
Like, so okay, so first thing is that which you track improves. That which you track and report on improves exponentially. Time to start tracking your sleep. Start consciously putting your attention on it.
All right.
And so this there are two ways that I would encourage you to do this. And if you choose, I mean, I know that you're a big fan of taking notes and writing in books and journals anyway. So if I were you, I would dedicate a sleep journal.
Sure.
And I would use it for your shit list as well, since that's like a cool thing to do at night to like get prepped up for the next day anyway. But don't spend too much time on that. This is really about sleep, right? But one of the reasons to write down the things that you're going to do the next day is to get them in your head while you're sleeping. That's part of the deal. Like that, it's get your brain.
Okay. Yep.
It's like, this is what I'm going to focus on knocking out tomorrow. Let's get all systems prepared and ready and like fully fueled up and ready to go knock those things out in the morning. But even if the shit list didn't exist, and even if you weren't doing that, and even if get shit done never came to exist, here's what I would recommend. One is write down what time you go to bed. When you get into bed, just write down what time you go to bed. Okay.
Yep.
When you wake up, write time what time you wake up.
Okay.
Okay. This is a exploration. You're looking for patterns, right? The other thing you want to write in here, ideally, whenever you wake up, and there's a trick here, is you, if you wake up in the middle of the night, you may not want to write in your journal in the middle of the night. That might be disruptive, or it might be helpful. You should try it, but try it a few times and see how it affects you. But the point is, when you wake up, write down everything you can remember from your dreams.
Okay.
Everything. Sensations, feelings, fleeting thoughts, or crystal clear pictures or movies or experiences or whatever.
Cool.
Okay. The other thing that I would do, Eric, if you're going to start doing this anyway, is if you're going to make your shit list and write what time you're going to bed, do the equivalent of a positive focus in your journal as the last thing you do before you go to sleep, or try to go to sleep.
Okay.
And like it could be a one word, it could be a sentence, it could be a paragraph, you could write a few pages about it if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. But what are you happiest? I mean, it's really more about gratitude. I mean, gratitude and positive focus are very similar. They really are. But it's really about gratitude and appreciation for what you've got in your life.
Yeah, I think that'll help me a lot.
Right? The people and the things, the situations, the circumstances, the opportunities for learning, even if it's kind of a crappy day or whatever, opportunities for insight and growth when things are hard, right? And the more specific you can be, the more. So one of the other reasons about positive focus is to be real and specific. Like, this is a damn fine cup of coffee I'm drinking here this morning. This is very tasty. I'm very, very appreciative for this cup of bulletproof coffee. It's making my morning, right? It's specific. It's clear. And when you talk about it, other people know what you're talking about. They can get a picture of it in their mind too. Like, so when you're doing positive focus, try not to go general and vague and overarching. Right. I mean, from time to time, I guess that's fine. I'm grateful for all that is cool, but it's kind of a cop out, right?
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. So I would encourage you to think about real things, and it could be yourself. It could be you did a great webinar today, or could be that you're very grateful that you're, developing, that you're being consistent in working out, or whatever, or that you're happy about the progress that you're making with your fitness goals, or what. It doesn't have to be external. It can be
that hasn't been happening.
Yeah, I figured as much. You haven't been talking about your crazy workouts.
Yeah.
So okay, so number one is sleep journal.
Yep.
Right. When do you wake up? When do you go to sleep? Write it down.
Okay. Cool.
If you take naps, try to write it down. When do you go to sleep? When do you wake up? How long did you sleep for? And the other piece to this is with dreams is just a quick little log about how you're feeling that morning when you wake up. So it could be, if you wake up in the middle of the night and your heart is racing, like, you're not just recounting your dreams, you're also recounting what your experience is as you move into the waking world, right?
Okay.
And so how'd you sleep, basically? That's basically the question you want to answer, is how did you sleep? How'd you sleep? How are you feeling mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, whatever? you know?
Yep.
And part of this is to have a journal of it, but part of it is to be more, it's less of something for you to look back on, though you can.
All right.
It's more of a way of you becoming more aware of and tuned in to yourself and the things that are directly and obviously connected to sleep.
Okay, cool.
And rest, right? You're putting your eye, you're really putting your eye on the problem consistently for a while and looking at it closely. Right?
Gotcha. Yep.
The act of doing that will start, just the act of doing that will cause you to start sleeping better very, very quickly.
Okay.
Just the act of you're taking care of yourself. You're putting attention on it. Right? It's kind of like, if you're like, I really need to have better personal hygiene. I need to start brushing and flossing more often. You know, my metaphor is breaking down. Anyway, the point is focusing on it is going to help you to shift it, because sleep is something that for the most part is subconscious. Right?
Right.
Like there are things that we can do consciously to shift or affect our sleep, but mostly sleep happens after we've let go of the reins. Like after our conscious mind has said, okay, I'm done for the night. Go ahead, subconscious mind, you're running the show. True. But if things aren't synchronized well, then sleep problems. Okay, so number one, sleep journal. Number two is what's your electrolyte intake like?
Probably not great. I have not been eating near enough fresh fruits and vegetables.
Okay, you got some like pink Himalayan sea salt?
Yeah.
Great. Do a half like a small, like a half teaspoonful of Himalayan salt in your gallon of water in the morning.
Okay.
It slightly affects the taste, but not much. And it's the cheapest, most immediately available way to replenish a bunch of trace minerals that absolutely affect your sleep and your stress levels. Okay.
Okay.
So like that's the quickest path. Or go buy some electrolyte tablets. You know, right. Noon, NUUN is a good brand. They come in a little cylinder. You can get them at like Whole Foods or whatever. But get some electrolytes, and in the meantime, like I'm working out twice a day. I go through a gallon of water every day. I was just buying tons of electrolytes, and then I watched this video by Gary Brecka on Facebook, and he was talking about just using pink Himalayan sea salt in the morning in your water instead of, and like it works like a charm. It's really good. Also dramatically prevents muscle cramping and all these types of things. But
interesting. Okay.
That'll help. That'll absolutely help with stress and with the physical aspects of stress that can have on your body with sleep. Is very inexpensive and easy to do. The next thing is there are a few factors, right? One is you actually make a sleep schedule and you really get on it. Okay. Yep. The way to start this is to start with what time you wake up. And fortunately, you probably have that now because we've been doing the Get Shit Done show every day for, a little over a month.
Right.
And so like what time do you normally get up now?
Recently I've been setting my alarm for 7.
Cool.
Yep.
So the way you said that was interesting. You said setting your alarm for 7.
Yeah. And then I press snooze a couple of times.
How many times?
2 or 3.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Challenge. No more snooze button. Get up when the alarm goes off.
Okay.
Every time.
All right.
you can hear my voice ringing in your ears when the alarm goes off first thing in the morning. And it says, Eric, you're learning how to sleep again. Get up. No more snooze button. Get out of bed.
Got
Hop
it.
to it. Get into action.
All right.
And you know, I mean, ultimately, you may or may not keep using the snooze button, but it's nice when you can train yourself to wake up when the alarm goes off.
True.
And that's
Yeah, it
easier
is.
for some people than other people, right?
Yep.
Like, I get that. Everyone has a different relationship with the process of going from being asleep to being awake. Like my son, for example, is a very slow waker. It drives me bananas because for me, it's like, bong, I'm awake. You know, it takes about 10 seconds before I'm out of bed after I wake up in the morning. I have to
Okay.
force myself to lay in bed and like, oh, maybe I should play, you know, lay the foundation for a wonderful day. I sometimes have that awareness, but
Mm-hmm.
usually I'm already in action before then, and like am jumping out of bed and either pulling on my pants or getting ready for a yoga session, you know.
Right.
But again, how you deal with that is up to you. I would encourage you though to experiment with no snooze button for a couple of weeks and see,
Yeah,
like
I'll give it a
maybe
try.
like try no snooze button for the rest of February, and I would proclaim that to your girlfriend, like that you're doing that. That doesn't mean she has to do anything different, but
Right.
make it a public. If you're gonna do it, make it a
Yeah.
declaration, right?
You might not like it. It's kind of our cuddle time.
Well, so there is that too, right? And that's a real factor. So again,
Yep.
I'm going to give you a bunch of tricks that have worked in the past
Mm-hmm.
for me and my clients, and you can use whichever ones you want to, and let me know what happens, right? Um, so there are definitely and this comes back to the electrolytes thing. There are
Mm-hmm.
definitely supplements that you can take directly to help improve sleep. Magnesium being one of them, right? So
All
you
right.
know, I mean, just look up sleep supplements, and you know, if you go and spend $60 or whatever on supplements, you'll have a handful of sleep supplements that'll help.
Yep. Yep.
And of course, there's also herbal sleep supplements. The two that are most common in my experience are valerian and
Oh yeah, I've used that.
skull cap, right?
Right.
And both valerian and skull cap, I don't like the way either one of them make me feel. They give
Yeah.
me like, I think valerian like almost makes me feel like I'm gonna clench my jaw or something. It's a little
Okay.
weird, but
Yep.
at the same time, valerian tea. There are a lot of valerian teas that you can buy that you know that are good sleepy time teas
Mm-hmm.
that you know drink that an hour before bed that can help. Um, but the big one is the hard one, and I'm going to mention this to you again, even though it sounds like I'm probably pushing it at this point. Is if you do 75 hard, dude,
Oh yeah.
you will start sleeping. So there are a few reasons for this.
Mm-hmm.
First, so take it or leave it, but step one, 2 45-minute workouts every single day. You are tired at night.
I bet.
There's no way you can get around that.
Right. Okay.
You're done. Okay. If you how how many hours of sleep for you at this point in your life do you feel are ideal?
8 hours.
Yeah. Okay, great. So
Yep.
like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 11
Mm-hmm.
p.m. to 7 a.m.
Right.
That's you know normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good frame. So I would say like set yourself a 10:45 p.m. alarm to remind you to go to bed and like
Right.
get off. Oh, how about I'm curious what your nighttime routine looks like. Do you and hey guys, if you have questions about sleep or hypnosis or anything we're talking about, please chime in and let me know. We are talking about how to help Eric improve his sleep here today, and I've helped a lot of people with sleep over the years, so we're just kind of going through the lineup and having a discussion about some of the different tweaks and things that he could do to influence and positively improve how he's sleeping. So 75 hard. First of all, 2 workouts a day. You'll be dead. You'll be done. You'll be tired. Okay. Number 2 is you're drinking a gallon of water a day. Okay. That clears out all the garbage. Like it really
Sure.
does. And when you're
Okay.
stressed, you have a lot more garbage in your system that you need to clear out. That your body
Probably true.
absolutely and unquestionably produces more toxins when you're stressed out. Like you can usually smell it in your armpits. You know, you smell worse when you're stressed. Like, you know, some
Right.
people break out in hives or pimples when they're stressed,
Yep.
right? Some people get like dry, flaky skin when they're stressed. Some people, when they get super stressed, will even like start losing fingernails and stuff, right?
Wow.
So these are all related. And just on a physiological level, I mean, you already know water clears out the toxins.
Water,
so,
yeah.
So a gallon of water a day was one of the 75 hard items.
Cool.
2 workouts a day, and I mean, you already follow. I mean, I think you follow a pretty clean diet already, but like eating really well, really intentionally, really cleanly, whatever diet you're following, presumably.
Right.
Yeah, I would say. I don't know. I mean, your diet dramatically and directly influences your sleep for sure. Not every diet is going to necessarily be focused on improving your sleep, so you can't make that kind of a blanket statement. But being more aware of that. Here's another one, dude. Is I just recently realized. So my son has always been allergic to cashews.
Oh, yeah, I have that allergy too.
Well, I do too, but I didn't realize it. And I used to eat these RX bars that have like 5 ingredients. It's like 1 egg, you know, chocolate, you know, cashews, dates, and what salt or something, you know. And I used like great protein bar, right? That, you know, I'd keep them in the car. And then like sometimes I would have sleep problems, and I'm like, what the heck? And then finally, my girlfriend doesn't eat much dairy, and so I was making a tasty cheese board, and so I bought several non-dairy cheeses, including this like really fancy cashew like aged black garlic fermented cashew cheese, and like ate half of it. Could not sleep to save my life, and then I realized the next day that maybe I had a cashew allergy. So point is, allergies do change over time, and we can develop new allergies. And when you have an allergy, that can create accelerated heart rate and totally disrupt your sleep. So another thing to consider is if you haven't done an allergy test in the last 10 years, or recently, maybe do an allergy test and see if there's anything else on a physiological level that could be
right. That's interesting. Yeah, I know I do have several allergies, and I've never done a test, but I am aware of.
Oh, well, if you've never done a test, I mean,
I've never done a test.
They can be expensive, right? And so that's the downside. But doing any test is better than doing no test, right? So see, do some kind of food allergy test if you can, and then naps. So I love naps. I usually take a nap every day, but it's not usually at the same time. If I can fit it into my schedule, I usually take like a 45-minute nap every day. And if you're having a hard time sleeping 8 hours, then consider scheduling a nap in. Or you know, and doing your best. And you can always play the sleep switch, you know, when you take your nap in the middle of the day if you need to. With that, you had mentioned to me, I think yesterday, that you were listening to a hypnosis session almost every day, which is awesome.
I have been.
So I actually I've been listening to a bunch of my old hypnosis sessions, and I've been going through the prosperity process, which I created in 2010.
Nice.
Which launched the new hypnotists, and we created a 7-figure business around that year. And I recorded it so long ago. And anyway, I was listening to, I think, session 6 or session 7 this morning. It's so interesting, like listening to myself from 15 years ago.
I
It's
bet.
weird, like
Yep.
hypnotizing myself. Like
Right.
my younger self is hypnotizing my older self. Like, what's happening? Right? Like, it's a very
Technology.
unusual experience, but it's
Yeah,
cool.
totally.
It's
Yep.
cool. And I would encourage you to actually listen to hypnosis less, or to either do it first thing in the morning or as you're going to sleep at night.
Okay.
And most of my sessions, anyway, at the end, most of them, I'm like, hey, if it's time for you to wake up, then wake up. And if it's time for you to go to sleep, go to sleep.
Yep.
And kind of gives you the doorway, gives you the path either way. But even if it doesn't say it's time for you to go to sleep, you can override it and just be like,
Yep.
it's time for me to go to sleep. I'm not waking up right now. And then go to sleep. So you
Mhm.
don't need to worry about the wake up callback part, because, you know, you're at the end of the day, it's your brain, you're calling the shots. So just,
Yep.
you know, interpret it differently. Right. But I would encourage you, if you do naps during the day, you can use hypnosis. And if you get yourself back on track quickly with that, that's great. But
Mhm.
if you're finding that you're still having sleep problems and you're listening to hypnosis like in the middle of the day, consider in the morning, at night, or even taking a couple of weeks off from hypnosis in order to essentially be more tired at bedtime.
Okay.
Right? So if you're taking naps and you're also having a hard time sleeping throughout the night, stop taking naps and see if that improves things.
All
Right?
right.
That's what I'm
Yep.
saying.
Okay, gotcha.
And so changing that up a little bit could be good.
Mhm.
But if you are waking up at 7 a.m. and working out twice a day and drinking a gallon of water, and listening to like hypnosis and keeping a dream journal, plus taking some extra electrolytes and supplements, all of those things are going to improve your situation dramatically.
Mhm.
But the one thing that we didn't talk about yet was stress. And that was,
Right.
you brought that up right off the bat.
Okay, yep. Uh-huh.
Right at the beginning, you're like, I think stress is causing this. And you're probably right. So
Yeah.
we've talked about how to handle the symptoms,
Mhm.
but we haven't talked about how to handle the problem.
Right, okay.
Right. So, and of course, hypnosis is the solution for everything, Eric, in case you didn't know that.
No, it is.
Of course it is, for everything, all your needs. No, I mean, it is the solution for a lot of, or it can be a really great solution for a lot of things, right?
Yep.
And it just so happens that lots of people use hypnosis to reduce stress. But you're already listening to a lot of hypnosis too. And one of the natural side effects of hypnosis is stress reduction.
Oh, it does, yeah.
It's
Mhm.
also, for a lot of people, improved sleep. Yet you're having a hard time sleeping, even though you're using a lot of hypnosis right now. So, how much you can go into as much or as little detail as you wish about the stress that you're dealing with that you think is impacting your sleep. Like,
Okay.
what are like, give me just go tell me where it's coming from, and as many details around it as you want to share publicly.
All right. Yeah, let's see. I mean, it's all like really personal stuff that I don't really think is appropriate to
Well, then
share on a live stream, but yeah, it's
generalize to the best. Yeah, I mean,
um let's see. Yeah, it's just aspects of my personal life that like are um deeply intertwined with my emotional body, and when things aren't in harmony there, it feels very stressful.
okay. Um, So I mean, I know a little bit about the situation, but I'm trying to figure out how to address it while being vague, a little tricky, but that's
Yep.
okay. That's okay. We can also talk about this when we're not broadcasting too, if we
Sure.
need to, right?
Yep.
But so basically with stress, you have stress that's coming I mean, really pretty much all stress is actually internal, first of all. You're actually the cause. Okay? So it's very important to realize that stress, you're creating it.
Right.
It's the way that you're reacting to the stuff that's going on. But with that said, stress can come from, or what causes stress or what triggers stress can seem to come from either the external world or the internal world. And so the external world, meaning other people, outside events, outside circumstances. What are the things that we can blame for our stress? Okay, let's play a little blame game. We can blame the president for our stress. I have a lot of friends that really like to blame the president for their anxious state, personally. Okay. We can blame the previous president for our stress. Okay. Depending on which side of the fence you're on, right? We can blame or we could blame the people or peoples or the powers that be that oppose the president for our stress. It's basically, it doesn't matter. It's all a game. Like we're blaming people and things and circumstances that are completely outside of our control for our stress. Okay, and I'm using the political thing because it's super charged and people get all reactive to it. But we can also blame our parents for our stress and the way that they talk to us or the way that they respond to us, right? We can blame our friends. I certainly blame my kids for my stress sometimes, right? I blame my kids' activity for why I'm freaking out about something or having a hard day or whatever. Obviously, partners, easy target to blame for our stress. But the thing is, in most cases, the trigger, the person, the thing, the event, the situation that we think is causing our stress can change, yet we're still stressed. Okay. So it is really important. So, and then there's internal stress, which is more when your attention is more focused inward and you're being critical of yourself, your internal self-talk about yourself and your beliefs about who you are and not living up to your what you could be doing, or that you suck, or that you'll never make it, or that you'll never do this, or you'll never do that, or you're never good enough, or no one's ever going to like you, and all this kind of stuff that really has nothing to do with anyone else or anything outside of yourself. That's kind of internally created stress, right?
Sure. Okay. Where sometimes external factors can be sort of intertwined with that inner stress too.
Well, I mean, we have senses. We have the five senses. We can see, we can taste, we can touch, we can feel, we can smell. Many of us feel we have more than five senses, right? But just the physical senses alone, right? Yep. Outside of any type of non-physical perception, we have all these inputs that are coming in, and our physical body has stress responses that interact with our brain and then our hormones and all these things. So it's not that the outside world has no impact or effect. Of course it does. But what's really the issue, or if it's an issue because of the way that you are consistently responding and reacting to the stress, both consciously and subconsciously. Right? Just because someone yells at you doesn't mean you have to yell at them, for example.
Exactly.
Right? Just because someone cuts you off in traffic doesn't mean you have to flip them off.
Right.
Right? Not everybody does that. It's not It's not a required reaction, and we can gain. So, but for some people, it's automatic,
Right.
completely automatic. They don't
Yep.
even think about it. It's so they've done thousands of times. You know, every time
Yep.
somebody cuts them off, they start swearing and waving their fists around or whatever, right? So, we all have our own version of this, though. That's the thing. Like for, you know, people have all sorts of like crazy stress behavior that is not, some of it's socially acceptable, some of it's not. Okay. Like putting your fist through a wall, not cool, right?
Right.
Yet there are a lot of people that put a fist through a wall when they get upset, right? And so, other people have a hard time sleeping, right? So, one question is, what, if anything, are you doing, or have you considered doing, or maybe have you done in the past, or thought specifically to learn how to deal with, respond to, and metabolize stress more effectively? Like, meditation obviously is good for stress, to reduce stress, and hypnosis is also great to reduce stress, but there are many, many, many other things as well. Yeah. So, I mean, does anything pop into mind?
I mean, yeah, hypnosis definitely has a very calming effect.
Which
That's
is great.
probably, that's probably been the most consistent way that I've managed my stress. But yeah, no, that's a good question. Like, how am I managing my stress? And am I managing my stress? And I think the honest answer is that I haven't been adequately addressing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you or aren't you taking any B vitamins?
I am, yeah.
Like a B complex or something?
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, the right B vitamins are great for stress reduction. So good that you're already on that train.
Yep.
But again, like that's taking supplements is a great way of dealing with stress or sleep, but it's also not really addressing, like it's a little bit of a band-aid, right? It's certainly better than like taking sleep medication or whatever. You know what I mean? But still, it's a band-aid. And so, here's another example, dude. Have you ever read The 5 Love Languages?
No, I haven't.
All right. Hallelujah. So The 5 Love Languages, great book. It's been around forever. And it's and one of your big things right now is improving your communication. So The 5 Love Languages, when I read it, it changed my life. So, it was years ago that I read it. And, the basic idea is that we have different ways in what people have different ways in which they experience being loved.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with the concept and the different love languages. I just haven't read the book.
Yeah. So, so one thing that you could do before bed is you could read out loud or listen to an audiobook. The maybe reading out loud and switching back and forth between you two might be a cool experience if you're both into it. Is reading the 5 love languages together.
Right.
So one is, again, you're doing something like positive and good for your brain before bed, right? Like getting yourself into hopefully a positive zone. Second, you're doing something together, right? And third, you're doing something to improve your communication with each other and to improve your ability to express your love and care for each other in a way that the other person's actually going to be able to notice and appreciate. Right? So the reason I'm bringing up the 5 love languages, first of all, the great news about the 5 love languages is it works with every relationship, every person. Like, not every romantic relationship, but yes, every romantic relationship, but like every conversation you have with every person for the rest of your life, 5 love languages will come into play, or can.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
Like, it's really about taking the responsibility on yourself to learn the other person's language, and then speak in it. Right? That's the simple version, is you learn their language. Stop being frustrated that you're misunderstood. Right? And so that is an example of how to improve one of the causes of stress, which is, like disagreements, misunderstandings, miscommunications, like lifestyle different challenges, like all these things that come up in relationships. If that's a aspect of stress for you, then this would be a direct action that could probably improve that. And even if the 5 love languages isn't the answer, actively engaging in a communication class together of some sort is, I mean, there's 100 books you could read together. You know what I mean? And that's just so that's an example with a partner, right? Let's say that for argument's sake, let's say you and I were having problems. Okay, let's say we were having communication breakdowns. There's too much stress in our business relationship. Things kind of set, like, let's just shift the focus for a second. Okay. And we're building get shit done, and we're trying to generate more sales. We're trying to generate more leads. We're trying to get more people into the boot camp. Blah 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 blah. But maybe the situation is that we're not making as much money as we want to make, and it's and we feel like it's each other's fault, right? So we start pointing the finger at each other because it must be your fault because you're not doing your part or whatever, right? Yep. So like something that we could do together is take a coaching program together on how to do mind-bogglingly amazing webinars. And with
mind-boggling amazing what?
Really good webinars.
Yeah.
And we could like go through Jason Fladley's coaching program on how to do kick-ass webinars together.
Okay.
In order to like make more money together and work together more effectively. So that's just another example of, like, if the stress is coming from a conflict with a business partner, you can still do something similar if the business partner or the colleague or whatever is willing to play ball, right?
Sure. Yep.
But so yeah, if you're already using hypnosis, I mean, at this point you have a long list of things that you can try, right?
I do. Yeah, I just took at least two or three pages of notes.
Sweet. Yeah. So out of all that stuff, what pops out as things that you want to try or you're excited to try first?
Well, I mean, right off, I know that regular exercise is going to help significantly. And it's something I know I need to do anyway.
And will reduce your stress.
And will reduce my stress. And will get me into better shape, which...
all those, yeah, which
I've fallen out of. Yeah.
What's
so yeah.
What's that? No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So that's probably number one. I like the idea of keeping a sleep log just to monitor like what's going on there so I can kind of track my patterns and get a better sense of things and just bring more awareness to it. Let's see what else. Positive focus before bed. I like that idea. I think that will help me to wake up feeling more positive. Sometimes, I'll wake up and I'll just be like, it'll help me just get out of bed with more positivity and like looking forward to the day and excited for what lies ahead. Sometimes, yeah, I've been noticing recently that just like, yeah, I've just been like not having as much fun as I would like to be. And I'll wake up in the morning and have this energy of just like, I don't not feeling excited for the day. And
Right.
that's something I really want to work on. And I know it's up to me to do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, I mean, give those things a shot, man.
Hmm.
And write down in your journal the things that you're doing, right? So that,
Okay. Yeah.
as part of that process, so that you can keep track of what makes a change. And I would encourage you to only implement one new thing per day.
Okay.
That doesn't mean only do the journal for one day, but like only start one new thing each day. Because if you start 5 things today, you're not actually going to know what works at all,
True.
right?
Yep.
It's like all those things will help though, right?
Yep. Yep.
Like there's a time that, yeah. And so however, in terms of exercise, I would highly recommend running. Can you run? Do you have knee issues or hip issues or anything like that?
I do have a bit of a knee issue. It's not severe right now, but it sometimes causes me problems.
What about like a long, vigorous walk?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like basically what I'm saying is cardio, a little cardio goes a long way. There are benefits
Oh,
of
it does.
every different type of exercise, right? They
Yep.
all have wonderful benefits, and any exercise on a regular basis is better than no exercise on a regular basis at any age, right?
Right.
So do what you're going to do consistently, but I would really recommend that you like schedule your exercise in at least one 45-minute block, right?
Hmm. Yep.
And start with that, because it's a great way to get you out of that like deprived feeling state if you're not waking up feeling very good anyway.
Yep.
And it allows you, I mean, getting your heart going first thing in the morning, so if you can do exercise first thing in the morning, it makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
I know that when I run first thing in the morning, versus like I often do yoga first thing in the morning because it's dark
Okay.
and it's the middle of winter.
Right.
But when I get up and I run first thing in the morning, then like I'm mentally more clear, I'm emotionally more balanced, I have more physical energy. By the time it's time for us to go live for our show, I definitely have more power
Hmm.
if I start the day with a run. And so whatever your form of exercise, some sort of vigorous exercise that gets your heart racing, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, we've been going to this hot gym where they
yeah.
have saunas, and they have different saunas for different themed exercises. Some of it's like stretching and isometrics and stuff like that. But then they also have saunas with these rowing machines, which is
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
And then exercise bikes. And that's been awesome. That's like the ultimate cardio workout. And you're just dumping sweat and breathing heavily. And yeah, it's awesome. And they have the screen on the wall where it's like a personal trainer leading you through the exercise to like hold you accountable and make sure you know, do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, what time of day do you guys like to go and do that?
See, that's been the struggle and what's been keeping us from going, because our days get pretty packed and it's been hard to schedule it in during the day, which leaves, if we were to get up at 5 in the morning and be there at 5:30 or something like that, or get up at 5:30 and be there at 6, that would be the time slot. And that's been challenging for me
Do
to
it.
commit. It's been challenging for me to commit to that when I've been struggling with sleep. And
Good.
yeah.
Okay. So, dude, that's your answer.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, take it or leave it. But
Yep.
if your girlfriend's willing to get up at 5 or 5:30 and go to the gym with you first thing in the morning,
Hmm.
do it. Like, do it. Set the alarm, no snooze button, go for it. Like, if you do that for a week, you'll be sleeping like a baby. Like this,
Yeah,
that
you're
one
probably
thing.
true.
That
Yep.
one thing is getting up early, going and working out, and starting your day that way.
Yep.
You'll probably need to take a nap for a little bit, but like if that's how you start, you'll be like you will look forward to it after about 3 weeks.
True.
And if you have the ability and the willingness to do that 7 days a week, dude, your life will change. Your life will change if you start getting up at 5:30 and working out, and then like being like seriously.
All right. Yep.
Like that one move, if you ignored everything else I said, that one move would make a massive positive impact on your life, on your stress, on your energy level, on your sleep, all of it.
I'm sure. Yep.
And that's why that's one of the reasons you have the most resistance to it too.
Probably.
No,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yep.
Yeah. Like that would make a huge difference. Little early to rise action.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right.
You seem thrilled about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the early morning aspect is my biggest challenge with it.
Yeah.
My whole life I've lived without alarm clocks until very recently, and I love waking up to my own device, like just without like just naturally waking up, spending the first 15 minutes laying in bed just meditating and positive focus, problem solving mode, and then just rising naturally.
Hold on.
This whole
Hold on.
living with an alarm clock is all new.
Hold on. We're going to do one quick thing.
Okay.
Take a nice, slow, deep breath in. As you exhale, close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, you can just begin to allow yourself to relax, breathing normally, easily, quietly, comfortably. And you can remember easily and naturally to do this exercise before bed as you're drifting off into a peaceful, sound, and restful sleep each night. Simply imagine the time that you wish to wake up in the morning. Imagine it clearly. See it on the clock. Perhaps a digital clock. Perhaps an old-fashioned clock with hands. I don't know what type of clock you imagine, but I'd like you to imagine your ideal wake time so that you can naturally wake up 15 minutes ahead of time, giving you exactly the amount of time that you need to mentally begin to rise, clear your mind, plan for the day, and create the ideal mental, physical, emotional, energetic, and spiritual space and perspective for you to move into your day in alignment. Simply plan in your mind and brain the time you'll wake up naturally, and wake up 15 minutes beforehand, before the alarm goes off, easily, quietly, and comfortably, allowing your mind and brain to naturally synchronize your sleep cycles throughout the night, so that when you do wake, you wake full of energy, vigor, enthusiasm, clarity, and focus. And whenever you're ready, just open your eyes. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Yeah. The good news is you can train your brain to wake up before the alarm clock and use the alarm clock as a safety net.
True. No, I know that's true.
And you can train your
Yep.
brain to wake up if you want 15 minutes before the alarm clock, so you have that zone where where you're naturally waking up, and just use the alarm as the safety. If
Right. I like
if
that.
you're on a schedule,
Yep.
But I usually have an alarm set, and I usually wake up before it, because I've trained my brain to do that. So that's entirely within your reach. So
Okay.
you can still have the benefit of the alarm and the consistency of a schedule without having to wake up to the alarm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, we are just about to wrap up here for the day. And if you all have any questions about hypnosis, about sleep, about getting shit done, or anything that we talked about here during today's episode, I would love to hear about it. Eric, are you in a good headspace to do a commercial break?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I created this group on Facebook called Pure Path to Prosperity, and you can check it out. The link is in the description below this video. And I'm going to be talking all about network marketing, content creation, how to get over your blocks towards your goals, how to get from where you're at in your current situation in life to where you want to be in life, and helping you to dream bigger, to like see what your dream is and to believe in yourself that you can actually achieve it. And I'm going to be teaching you about the incredible opportunity with Kangen water that I'm working with that can get you from where you're at to where you want to go in life. And I've got webinars coming up where we're going to be diving into that inside Pure Path to
Nice.
Prosperity. Diving in. That's right.
You're going to be diving into the wave of prosperity.
Diving into the wave of prosperity. That's it. Yeah, that's the Wave of Prosperity webinar. So be sure and check out Pure Path to Prosperity. The link is in the description way down at the bottom. And I'll see you on the inside.
That's right. Awesome. That's great, Eric. So I was so you know how we were talking about the blind taste tests?
Oh yeah, the water blind taste test. Yep.
Well, I was thinking more about that, and
Okay.
I was like, I think, like, can you imagine what it would be like if you made soup, or if you made brownies, or if you made like whatever that you cook? Many things that we cook may take water, oatmeal,
Yep.
whatever. And you made one batch with like tap water and one batch with Kangen water, and then did the blind taste test with people, like on the food that you make.
On the
It'd
food,
just be
right?
like which one do you like better? And see, because wouldn't it be cool? I know you said that mice like or cats, right?
Cats, yeah.
Like the Kangen better.
They do.
Presumably, I mean, Kangen's been around for a long time.
50 years.
And I don't really know the science behind ionized water. Like, I've heard you talk about it a little bit, but I don't know, I don't know. And so it would be really interesting if generally speaking, people liked essentially the ionized food. Does water stay ionized after it's cooked?
It definitely, it changes it when you heat it, boil it. Yeah.
Okay.
It does change it.
All right. Well, try it.
Yeah.
You can always make lemonade.
Right.
If you have to order, you could make ionized lemonade popsicles or something.
That sounds good. Yeah, totally.
But ionized ice cubes.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Freezing it must also change it, though.
It changes it a bit, but yeah, it still retains some of its properties. Yeah, we have some ionized ice cubes here.
Nice.
Yep.
So yeah, I would really, I was just imagining doing these different experiments with your friends,
Mm-hmm.
and anytime you cook food and you're going to invite people over or whatever, if you can, make a batch with ionized water and make a regular batch, and it could be filtered water or something like or whatever. But like, and
yeah, we don't want to poison them with tap water.
well, yeah. I mean, if you're in the city and it's tap water, you gotta be careful,
Yeah.
But I would love to see how those types of tests work out, because if it was consistent that most of the time people chose the Kangen food, it like you can just say this is the best water in the world. Don't believe me? Let's test it. Like, you can do that on video all day long. You can go down to the freaking mall and set up a kiosk.
Right. Or like the farmer's market or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like
you'd get tons of data in one day.
Market would be better, but yeah,
right.
And if it worked, it would be like such a cool marketing mechanism that you could then teach your team and all this kind of stuff. So it would be a really good thing for you to try. I strongly encourage it.
Right.
Or you could even have a dinner party and have like a whole like spread, and half the like there's like a red and a green. I don't know. You'd have to figure out some sort of labeling convention so you can have everybody taste, but like test without knowing what they're trying. But it'd just be so cool to see, look, these 10 different dishes that we made. We have 20 different plates because there's, 10 different things that we made. And each one of them, one of them's made with store-bought filtered water, and one of them's made with Kangen ionized water. And we wanted to see, what our friends liked more, and to see. So let's check it out,
right.
and then like film the thing on your phones, and if it's useful at the end and everybody's cool with you using their video, you could use it. But even trying that one time would be really very fun. So,
yeah, it would be.
Cool. So I would strongly encourage you to try the little mini micro self-hypnosis technique that I just shared with you before bed. Just imagine the time that you need to wake up and a setting, like a 15-minute buffer setting.
Okay.
And I would strongly encourage you not to set an alarm, but
exactly.
you need to get up. All right, we gotta. So I think this woman is coming in from you, Eric, and her name is almost
Rapunzel.
How do you say it?
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel. That's so awesome.
Yep.
What's up, Rapunzel? Nice to meet you. You have a wonderful name. I've never met a Rapunzel before. Very cool. She says ionized ice water with a lemon slice is the best tasty alkaline drink.
Yep.
She says she must be a Kangen person, huh?
Yeah, I don't think she has her machine yet.
But
right. She's really into Kangen water. Yeah.
Nice. Maybe filtered water versus ionized 8.5 pH, 9.5 pH comparisons with fruit infused ice water. Boom.
Yep.
Nice. You know what you could start doing, Eric, is you could do ionized ice baths where where the whole ice plunge bath is filled with Kangen water. You could do a regular plunge and an ionized plunge.
Yeah, or just have a whole Kangen spa with all kinds of different experiences with a cafe and everything.
That's right. That's right. That's so funny. Cool, dude. Well, try some of these things. Keep track of what you're trying, and then please keep us posted with your progress on your sleep journey.
I'll keep you posted.
As you move forward. The other thing is, I just did a sweet webinar. It was for Jonathan Meisel's fatty liver group, because he has this big list and Facebook group of people suffering from fatty liver, and we asked them what their biggest health concerns were. And strangely enough, they said sleep. They said that they were all suffering from poor sleep. And so we did a webinar this week, actually on Thursday, a sleep webinar. And during that session, I did a big sleep hypnosis session. And so I haven't actually put the replay up that yet, but I was going to work on that this weekend. So I will send you a link to that. It's mostly about sleep. There's a little bit of fatty liver stuff in there, but it
all right.
It's not going to do anything bad to you. If anything, your body will respond positively. But so I have another recent sleep hypnosis session that was really good. That I'd be happy to share.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Rock and roll, man. Well, I guess that's it for today.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, today was awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I hope your sleep improves dramatically, Eric. Definitely go work out today.
Right.
That's right. Rock and roll. All right, guys. We'll see you all soon.
All right. See you guys.
Toodaloo.